This is Robert Nerney
and Jason Pacheco,
and we're your hosts of Rhode to Real Estate, a podcast about real estate, small business, and the independent spirit. Today, I'm going to interview Jason, my co-host. He's the team leader of the Pacheco Homes team, and his team has sold over 150 homes in the past 4 years. That's pretty impressive, Jason.
Thank you.
Remaining within the top 60 out of 6,000 agents in the state of Rhode Island by amount of residential homes sold. Okay, very good. He's a real estate investor, a real estate broker, Jason Pacheco.
Hey, what's up, Rob? That was a bit choppy, but we got it done, right?
Is that all right?
Want to
do it again?
No, we're good.
Okay. All right.
So what's up?
Not much, so let's get right into it. And so Jay, tell us how old you are, where you're from, and what got you into real estate.
So I'm 28, turning 29 in April. I grew up in Cumberland, and what got me into real estate is, so I grew up with small businesses around me, my father owning a store, my grandfather owning his own store, so kind of just grew up around that, and I knew, I didn't enjoy the stores they owned. I knew it wasn't something I wanted to get into.
What'd they own?
Liquor stores.
Okay.
I personally, it did us all well, but, it just was boring to me. But I knew I loved I had the characteristics within to own my own store and not really work for corporate America or whatever. So, it was always in the back of my mind, and I got to a point where I did give corporate America a try, and it failed me. And I'm like, I need to do something for myself, or my hard work pays off, and it's not paying off for the big company or whatever.
So what did you feel? Did it stifle you?
So what it was is a matter of, I don't mind working hard, really hard, towards something and seeing the growth and reaping the benefits, but I had a hard time working really hard in getting paid hourly and not seeing much of anything. It's like I felt like I was working hard to work hard, but I wasn't working hard towards something. What's up, everyone? So when I'm not podcasting, I'm in real estate. I'm helping people buy homes. And when people buy homes, they got to get a home inspection. So I have someone I like and trust and use and refer to my clients. That's House Doctor Home Inspections. You can find them pretty much anywhere. They cover Connecticut, Mass, and Rhode Island. You can give them a call. Mike will always answer the phone. It's 401-597-0050. That's House Doctor Home Inspections. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook, website, whatever it is. Thanks, Mike, over at House Doctor Home Inspections. Back to the show. And it was a short time. I worked at Hertz rental car. But yeah, so I wanted to get into something where ultimately I was at that point, let's say 19, 20, and the cost of starting your own business is expensive. Buying all the product, buying the store, whatever you're getting yourself into, the equipment. But into real estate, it was really it's about $2,000 to get into real estate. And you get your license, and now you're ultimately a small business owner. So that's kind of what, after a bunch of research, I have no family or friends in real estate, no agents in my family, but I did a lot of research on low-cost startup businesses, and real estate kept coming up, and so I gave it a try. Very good.
Yeah, that's funny because I think from the outside looking in that most of us don't see it as a small business.
Right.
I don't think we even think like that. So that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, you have to treat it like that, with the money coming in, the money coming out, budgeting, and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And I did see an interview with, it was a panel discussion, and one of the realtors was saying the one thing he wished he had known, that he should have treated his job or this career as a business right from the get-go.
Right.
All right. So after a year or so, he changed gears. All right. So, what traits serve you well? What are some of your personal traits that serve you well in this career choice?
Yeah. So I think the most important one. I think I have a good job at adapting or connecting with anyone from any walk of life, no matter where you're from, where you came from, what language you speak. It might be a hard language barrier, but no matter what age you are, I can always form a relationship with you, and I can do it with anyone from any walk of life and build a connection with that person. I think I also hold the trait. I think I'm approachable, very approachable. I'm not cocky. I don't, have the sunglasses on, the AirPods, and have my head down in a room. Whenever I'm in a room, I'm always open to talking, and basic manners of saying thank you, being respectful of time. And I think I do a good job with that small business, seeing my father own a store and working in it from maybe when I was 12 till 20. Maybe I shouldn't be working at a liquor store at the age of 12, but I was there, and I learned what customer service is, because if I had bad customer service, or people in the store had bad customer service, that's less money for my dad, and that was less money for my toys growing up. So I always had good customer service, and I saw that growing up. So I think bringing that into real estate, man, I have great customer service. I have raving reviews, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I would think that the essence of real estate would be that type of interaction. Okay, that you're can approach anyone. I think that is probably the essence of it. So
and I think it's
cool.
Small things of just like, I think it's disrespectful to show up to a showing with AirPods in, chewing gum, and with sunglasses on. Like, take your sunglasses off, take your AirPods out, throw your gum away, like, present yourself well. Going into people's homes, I'll always ask, do you want me to take my shoes off? It's just being respectful, attention to detail, and being able to just, build rapport with almost anyone from any walk of life.
Right. Those simple things go a long way. I think I know that.
Yeah, and it doesn't come natural to some folks. So, maybe that's a testament to how I was brought up with that. But, if you didn't get some people might not even think to ask to take your shoes off. Like, they never had to growing up. Why would they ask? But being someone that did, and now I ask that question, I think being on the flip side of the customer, they might be like, wow, this kid's really respectful of my home.
Right.
Yeah.
My father-in-law drove that home. He's like,
Yeah.
take your shoes off. I couldn't afford shoes back then.
Yeah.
Okay. What were some of the challenges that you faced initially? I know that we've talked about this before. In those first couple of years, maybe you can explain what you went through, how you approached it, and then what were the struggles that you had to overcome?
Yeah, so I think getting into real estate, the biggest struggle is trying to find a source of income and also having time for real estate. So you're going to find a lot of real estate agents, it's natural to work a part-time job, a couple part-time jobs, work a full-time job, and do real estate. And that's an obstacle right there, balancing all that. Because if you have a full-time job and then you start getting your first client and a couple appointments need to happen during the day, now what do? You have your only one client, it's your VIP client at this point, needing you, but you have a full-time job, so you're in a pickle. What do? You get stressed out. That's an obstacle to overcome. And I think also is just confidence, not knowing anything about real estate, how the process goes, what's a good question, what's a bad question, how to answer clients. That's gives you a lack of confidence. So I think getting confidence at first was a big struggle for me. I've said it a couple times, like if I was out with my in-laws or anyone, family and friends, and real estate came up, and my friends and family want to boost me and say, "Hey, Jay's a real estate," I would cringe. I would want to hide. I would turn red. I would be so scared to question this person. I just didn't want people to know. And I think that was a big struggle, because being a successful real estate agent, I think it starts with your sphere of influence around you. So everyone around you needs to know you're in real estate. What's going on, everyone? So you already know, right? If I'm not podcasting, I'm in real estate. And I need someone to help my clients get a mortgage, get a house, right? And I got John Dolbec. He's crushing it. He's got a team called a Modern Team over at Primary Residential Mortgage. So if you want to get pre-approved and buy your first home, reach out to John Dolbec and his team. Call or text. It's 401-321-4401. That's 401-321-4401. Back to the show.
Right. I think that's natural, though. I mean, when you start anything, when I started teaching years ago, 35 years ago, it's a process. You learn as you go. That's just the nature of who we are as people. We live in time and space. That's interesting. So what was that first year like, the first 2 years?
First 2 years, so I started out with a company, and I think it lacked training. It lacked in-field training. So I did a lot of learning on my own through YouTube and whatever. So, I mean, that was a struggle for me my first year. I do wish I joined a team where I could learn directly in the field and have more support. There was no mentorship really where I started. It was kind of just like the broker was available and I'd ask questions if I needed it. So the first 2-3 years were definitely a time of lack of confidence.
So you were really on your own?
Really all on my own.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
that's very difficult.
All on my own, no team. I had, like I said, I had a broker, and there was definitely a cool office where if I had some questions I could ask, but that's pretty much all you got. You got answers, but you didn't get much training.
Which is kind of crazy if you think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
you're thrown into a field that you don't really know much about it, and there's no training.
I think you'll run into a lot of that in the real estate, I think, industry. You'll have a lot of people heavily recruiting, capturing new realtors to join, and they promise a lot, and you get in, and it's kind of, you got to fend for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think, but fending for yourself, I think that really is that's a trait within that person. If you got to fend for yourself in this world to be successful. And that real estate is a lot of fending for yourself. Unfortunately, it's kind of a dog eat dog, whatever you want to say, industry. So you have to fend for yourself. If you have goals and visions, you can think about it, you can read about it, you can listen to this podcast about it. But if you don't do it, then you're never going to do it. So I think that kind of did teach me a lot, and I don't regret it, obviously.
Right, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very philosophical. We could go down a philosophical rabbit hole on that one. Okay, so what is your real estate business model?
Yeah, that's a good question. And my business model definitely isn't going to work for everyone, but it's working for me, and it's kind of what I believe in. You know, there's many different ways where you could spend a ton of money, buy internet leads, pump them out, and kind of forget about them a little and think of it like a shop. Like you get the client in, you get a new client, get the deal done, lose them, you don't even keep their contact, you don't even touch base with them, and you're just buying a bunch of leads, and you're like a machine there, which fine, might work for someone. But really, my real estate business model is I don't like spending money on leads. I believe it all starts with the people around you in your sphere of influence, your parents, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your best friends, people you went to school with. You really have to, really nurture those leads. If you have, I've said it a couple times, if you get into real estate, and you got to think back to, okay, do I have any broken bridges in my life with people in my life, whether it's with my mom, my dad, my cousin, a friend from school? You ultimately have to, right away, you have to solve that issue. And you need to make sure all your bridges are not broken. You need to make sure you have relationships with everyone in your life, and it starts there. Then you start getting leads, and you start closing deals, and they become kind of like a family. You nurture them always. You never forget about them. Instead of spending $5,000 a month on internet leads, I'd rather spend $5,000 a month on my clients, buying them gifts, hosting holiday parties, paying for things for them, taking them out to dinner. And just the slow game is what I think is gonna win. Slow game. Don't pay for leads. Very little maybe is okay, but don't make that the majority of your business model, the center.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good approach to life. Not just real estate,
Mm-hmm.
but mending bridges,
right,
and bringing people into your life and being relational. That's how God made us, So
and I think also just kind of like I said, being new into real estate, if you get into it, you've got to do a lot and expect nothing in return. Learn from people around you, offer a helping hand, always be there. Don't expect anything in return. Just be a sponge and absorb, and and helping others around you. I think ultimately the good karma and things will come back to you, and you will be successful.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about giving back to your community and past clients? So you just started to talk about that as far as hosting parties.
Right. Kind of same thing on that. I think, again, if you're looking to be successful in real estate, I think it starts with, just being not a greedy person, I'm here in an office. If someone needs help and I'm available helping and not expecting really much of anything in return, because one day if I go on vacation, I'm going to need the help, and that person will hopefully remember that. And I think with clients too, giving back to them, right? Ultimately, without the clients trusting and supporting you, you won't be successful. So really investing in them and holiday gift giving, Christmas gift giving, in your community where you really, your hometown, giving back to them, whether it's, local coaching, getting involved with the youth, I think is really important and helps also spread your name out there and by doing good and being successful.
Okay, and what's your definition of success?
My definition of success is, that's a great question, is ultimately if I fast forward 10 years or look forward 10 years, if I said, if you do this, you'll be successful. It's really not I'll start with honestly not worrying about the bills. Like bills can get paid comfortably. That's one of the check marks of success. I think formulating a business model where I have a lot of time to spend with my family and I'm not always working. So if I'm spending more time with my family and my bills are being paid, that's another check mark for success. And I think, ultimately, if you don't have health, you don't have wealth. So making sure, hopefully I continue to be healthy in life. And if I, always can be hard on yourself, like you need to lose more weight, you need to spend more time in the gym. But if I'm just maintained a good health, I think that's another check mark for success.
Okay, very good. So we're coming to the year's end, 2024, and what about your goals for 2025? Have you sat down and thought about that?
I did, yes. So next year, I guess in the personal life, there's a lot of minor goals I could try and hit. But I think one goal that's really comes to mind is I want to get my blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu next year.
And what does that mean?
So really, you start out with anyone that joins the gym is a white belt.
Okay.
And then the next step is the blue belt. Sort of a promotion. And every gym, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym, and we're going to interview my professor one day so he can get into this a lot more. But his theory is, there's some gyms is you pay and you whine to the coach, you want to get promoted, I'm paying you, give me a belt, they'll give it to you. Right. But in this guy's gym, his model is, in order for him to give me a blue belt, he has to be confident in me to be able to what they call smash, destroy, beat every white belt in the gym consistently.
Right.
So I need to get to that point. And it's by showing up 3 to 5 days a week consistently. And that's one of my personal goals for next year. And then in the real estate world, I'd like to have the team collectively transact 75 homes or more. I'd be very happy with that. And have my first flip next year.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Very good. So the Jiu-Jitsu, it sounds like it parallels your career as a realtor because it's definitely, they both require discipline. You said
right.
3 to 5 days a week. That's a
lot.
lot.
Yeah,
that's
it's an hour and 20 minutes.
That's a big
and
commitment.
It's, tough workout, but it's awesome. The community there is cool.
Yeah.
We'll see. I will do it. Now we'll see. It's gonna happen, right?
All right. So any other goals? I know that you just moved to Cranston.
Just moved to Cranston. No Cranston goals right now. Maybe in the future, I'm definitely going to get into coaching the kids, being involved. But I think this year I'm just going to settle in, and those are my 2 highlighted goals for the year.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have 3 concluding questions that we're going to try to ask all of our guests to build some continuity. So what would you say is the best restaurant in Rhode Island?
So my favorite, which means I think it's the best in my opinion, would be Sienna's restaurant.
Okay, I've been to Sienna.
You like it?
I think it's all right.
Oh my goodness, I love Sienna.
Not one of my favorites, but that's fine. Actually, I think my son's fiance worked there for a while.
Really? And I do love Chili's too.
Chili's? I haven't really been to Chili's. Okay, what about best cup of coffee? This might come to blows.
Best coffee shop will be. I lived in the area of Brewology in Smithfield. Love that atmosphere, and their coffee's great. Now I'm in Cranston. I have yet to find the new spot there, but I'll just stick with Brewology.
Okay. Very good. And finally, if you had no responsibilities on a Saturday, so you were just free for the day, how would you spend it?
It would start out with me at Brewology. I'm a big coffee guy. So maybe around 9 a.m., get to Brewology, have a bagel sandwich and a coffee. After that, I'll end up probably going back home. I would love to play maybe an hour or two of like some Madden, some football. Love Madden. Maybe take a nap after that. Wake up, get ready for dinner, and go to Siena.
Okay, sounds good.
That's probably that. It's a good day.
That's a good day.
Yeah.
I wish you a good day. All right.
All right, Rob. Thanks for the interview.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.